Here is Cello Blue, and Cello is a 17 and a half hand, 8-year-old thoroughbred gelding who has been in a hunter jumper program for the last 3 years since he came off the track, and he came off the track through me. Now he's back here to find his next human, and he is nothing but an absolute delight to have in my barn. And I am getting so spoiled having him to ride every day. I sort of feel like I've clumped him in with my personal horses group, and it's just so pleasant to have a super steady, well schooled, the same every single day type of horse to get on and sort of just make you feel good about yourself. Like with some of my other horses, when we're struggling on the basic things that you would expect to struggle on: steering, straightness, picking up your leads, all those basic things that all the right off the track thoroughbreds have to learn, which Cello had to learn himself a couple of years ago. But he's just a horse that is super steady. He's the same every single day, on property, off property. He just gives this very sort of trustworthy feel about him. And this is his first ride out in the jump field. And I don't have anything out in my jump field. Of course, it's designed for baby horses. So he's well outgrown anything that's out here. But I figured, he's been in hunter jumper land, so he's a ton of show spirit experience in those rings, but he's not done anything in terms of being an event horse. So I just thought it can't hurt to let him come out here and take his first peek at some logs and pipes and things, and just sort of get a feel for him and what he thinks about that. I think next week I'm gonna go ride with my friend Martha, and he'll probably come and do his first sort of proper cross country school when there's things, that are bigger than like 2-3. But this is great for a first experience. It really let me get a good feel for him. And basically my feel for him is that he's the same as he is in the ring. He's honest, he's brave, he wants to do the job, he's super steady. One thing I always love about riding horses that have been developed with some hunter background is just how darn rhythmic they are. And he is exceptionally steady. I mean, it just, the tempo never changes, and it just makes him so damn easy to ride. And so this is obviously our flatting around when we first got out there. I think he looks extremely pleasant and easy to ride. I can tell you that it feels probably even more so than it looks. I'm just out there like having a picnic thinking, wow, I have the best job in the world. This is so fun. I can't believe this is what I get to do for a living. And he's in the same bit that he goes in the ring. He's in an egg butt snaffle with a peanut. Nothing complicated at all. And so the thing about Cello is, he is so quiet, which is so wonderful. But I have to remember, and when I went to ride with Martha and jumped him last Saturday, she reminded me of this, which was very good. I needed reminding that we want to come to the jump with enough energy that you can steady to it. You don't want to be chasing the horse down to the base of the jump. And with such a quiet horse, it's almost easy to get lured into just coming in too quiet of a canter. And because he's so big and long and all the things he needs to be able to compress, he can't compress well if he's not coming with enough energy, especially enough energy pushing from behind to be able to sit down and use those hocks on that hind end. So it was just a good reminder that, he's so quiet that it's my job to create the energy that's needed so that we can come forward to the jump, and the last 5-6 strides we can actually steady at it instead of trying to press and last minute create something that's not there, so that he gets there and he has options. Excuse me. Now, all of that is actually easier said. Well, actually, it's easier done out in a field opposed to in a ring. I had to work harder to create that energy in the ring. When we're out here in the jump field, would I say that he's excited? He didn't really feel any more excited to me, but it is just a bigger, sort of more forward friendly space, I guess is how to say it. It's just easier to press him on and create that forward energy that makes it better jumping canter for him when you're out in this big space, because there's just so much room, and it just sort of creates that energy that actually makes him a better jumper. Or I should say, I had to work less hard out in the field because it was easier to get him forward thinking the way I wanted him. Cello doesn't really care one way or another. All that being said, he's still very much a kick and cluck ride. Just maybe a little less kicking out in the field. And Cello is very much a professional with tons of life experience. And as I would expect, he's doesn't spook at anything. He's not bothered by a line of traffic going by. He does not lean towards the barn. He's a very upstanding citizen. So Cello really doesn't have any cross country experience, so I didn't think there was any harm in letting him walk over, especially the pipes, is what I was thinking, because he's probably never quite seen anything like that. Even though I realize that I'm probably thinking about it way more than he's thinking about it. I mean, to him, what's the difference between a pipe and a log? Nothing. And he certainly didn't seem to think there was any difference. I will say that I find trotting jumps on him a little bit challenging because he's just so darn quiet. So much easier to come in the canter, and kind of create that jump and that spring out of the canter versus the trot. But I will say right from the get, I mean, from that first log that we cantered, he just gave a great feel. He does a really nice change down here. Yeah, that was lovely. And then he jumped down this line really nice. Just straight, everything in balance and out of stride. Love that distance that he got to that log. That's the distance I would always like to get. Just sort of the sweet right to the base, push from behind type distance. I know I'm not saying much. There's not that much to say, I feel, because pictures and video speaks for itself. This was a really fun, easy ride. Cello made me feel good about myself because he's just kind of on autopilot. This is a horse that you can certainly put on cruise control a little bit. Now, when I take him cross country in a different environment and there's more to do, I'm sure he will feel a bit more like greener horse to cross country. But out here in this jump field for little baby horses, when he's got so much experience jumping bigger jumps than this is all just sort of just very easy and fun and just a lovely horse. There's a little hunter jumper show happening on Saturday near me that I really would like to take him to, but the weather forecast is currently looking like quite a bit of rain. So we'll just have to kind of see what it looks like on Saturday morning. I'm not going to take him if it's going to be torrentially downpouring, that just sounds very unpleasant, and I feel that I have become too old for those sorts of things. But if it's just some light, sort of scattered rain, we will certainly go. I want to go. I think he'll be so fun. Really good boy to that pipe. I will say he's easier to trot to sort of bigger, more impressive looking jumps. When he's just trotting a plain cross rail or a little log on the ground, to him that's like not much different than a ground pole. I really like his canter here. It's balanced, it's up, it's compressed, and then really nice spot because of that. It's hard to tell in the video, but the jump field is actually on a little bit of a hill. And so that part that he just trotted down there, that was the little slope downward. And then that was very good. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to come around and jump it one more time and see if I could find him a little bit of a sweeter distance. And again, here I really like this canter. It's a good energy level. He's forward thinking, and then that results in a really nice jump.